Good morning, everyone. I think we're live. There it is. Just waiting for the screen to flip. So I'm here. And how are you this morning? Welcome to Mind Over Matter. As the name bar indicates below, I am Jamie Cinq-Mars. I seem to have the this morning. Hopefully the warm coffee will help with that. It appears that my I don't know if my screen's a little fuzzy for everybody else, but it seems a little blurry to me. Anywho, I've got a couple of really good things that I want to talk about today. At least I think they'll be very helpful. One of the topics is based around a question that gets asked a lot in the global online franchise Facebook group. Alec and his team have put together such a great environment there at the Facebook group, and it's such a good resource. So here we are. We're talking about mindset, and we're talking about how that can really have a major impact on your business and your success. It really pretty much touches every area of your life, your relationships, your health, your job, your everything. So just to let you know that it's definitely a much bigger component of your everyday life than you may realize. And good morning to you. The good mornings are rolling in, so it's 4 minutes after 9. So I'm just I'm not going to really dive right in. One more minute, I guess. Some people might be just waking up. I don't know. I mean, it's 9 o'clock here. It's 7 o'clock on the West Coast. So 7 a.m. on the West Coast for those joining me from there. Pardon me. But, I'm just for those of you who are here, one of the things that I was earlier this week, I was listening to Jim Rohn again, which, I do from time to time. I have a lot of different audios that I listen to, especially when I'm in the car. And Mr. Rohn had this CD of his that I've listened to numerous times. And one of the stories about the sower, the story of the sower, and how he sowing the seeds and falling on good ground, and it may be it's a biblical story, and you may or may not be you may not be up on what's going on in the Bible. I don't know. It's not for me to. I'm not here to tell you whether you should or shouldn't be, but it definitely is part of that story. And one of the things that comes from that story is that some of the times the seeds fall on good ground, bad ground, and some of them take root and actually need to be watered, and that's where the mindset side of things comes in. There's a report about children who have been bullied in school, and that the effects of this bullying has carried on through their entire lives. So they did in this interview, they did an interview of someone who's in their 40s who was part of this study, and he for all intents and purposes, he looks like he's an intelligent man. He's pardon me, I'm very sorry. So this 40-year-old man looks like he's bright, he's intelligent, kind of put together, and he goes on to tell the story about how he's had failed relationships, he hasn't really hold down a really good job, just can't really get himself on the right path. And part of the story also talks about when he was a kid, he was chubby, overweight, and people called him a loser and a failure. And they made fun of him and things like that. And where the problem lies is he made the mistake of telling, of letting those words actually take a root, right? And then he ended up watering them, and then they keep him in mediocrity, right? So when somebody calls you anything, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise. I mean, they might tell you you're awesome, or they might tell you you're horrible, or they might be really critical, you know, and it may have happened in the past, who knows, but it may be happening today. I don't know what situation you're in, but either good or bad, that's a seed that's planted into your soil. Here's the best part. You get to determine whether or not you water that seed. And that is a mindset choice. Now, if it comes from when you were younger, sometimes when you're younger you don't really understand how much power you have over choosing to water those seeds or not. But you're just giving it the right to grow in your mind, so it become a reality. So it's no, and the same can be said for the concept of failure. If you make a mistake, or you screw something up, or you do something that's goes horribly awry. Run a couple of ads, don't get any prospects. You might want to analyze that. Instead of just throwing in the towel, it's better to, and watering the seed of, oh, I can't do this. It's more of, let's water the seed of, okay, how can I make this better? Right? There's two different ways to look at things when you make a mistake, right? Oh my goodness, I'm terrible at this. I can never do this ever again. I'm horrible. I'm horrible. I'm horrible. Or, okay, that was awful. What can I do to make this better? Because I need to do it again. So I need to figure out what I can do better. How can I make this better? That's a very powerful place to be. So anyway, that was a quick little story about the sower and the reap, and what you reap when you do reap what you sow. And if you sow the negative thoughts by watering them and believing them and talking to them, talking out loud, or giving them life, or discussing them amongst everybody, or just even being critical, verbally self-critical. You make fun of yourself, so to speak. It's not a really, you're watering every time you do it. Every time you someone else can say something to you that's would be insulting, or let's just say it's a guys are really bad for this. They often pick each other apart and make fun of each other and things like that. And honestly, it's your choice whether or not you sow that seed, whether or not you're going to water that seed. And you choose not to, but then you turn around and you watch or you hear the same people. And I've been guilty of this in the past, because I've worked very hard to try and to eliminate this from my mindset. But it's still got some pretty deep roots, because I watered it pretty good over time. But the fact remains is that when you water the seeds, and it's about being self-critical, and it's not just the simple concept of saying being self-critical from the perspective of how can I do this better, because that's being self-critical, but you're doing it in a positive way, trying to find a better place to get to. It's being self-critical and just saying, making fun of your weight, making fun of the way you look, making fun of your upbringing, making fun of your home, making fun of your just making fun of anything, poking fun at things that are about yourself, is essentially watering some bad seed. And the more you do it, the stronger it becomes, and the harder it is for you to overcome. That's as simple as it gets. I mean, it's just broken down. Okay, so enough about the sower and the reaper. I think you guys get that. It's pretty straightforward. And it was, when I listened to that Jim Rohn CD, every time I get to that stage, because he talks about the philosophies that helped change the course of his life, and he said you can have the best product in the world, you can have the best, like the Global Online franchise by far is the best thing that I've come across in a long time. It's got so much going for it. It's incredible. And then in certain cases, people have their network marketing companies or MLM companies, and they think they've got the best product, and they probably have a pretty awesome product. They're all pretty awesome. I mean, it'd be hard to build a company around one that sucked, unless you have really great systems. Anyway, that's for another story, another day. And Jim Rohn had always said that no great product. It doesn't matter how good your product is. It doesn't matter how good your comp plan is. It doesn't matter how good any of the things the company is offering is. If you don't have the right philosophy, it's not going to work. That's basically what he said. And if you're not familiar with Jim Rohn, if this name that I'm tossing around is new to you, homework alert right here, right now, or 10 minutes into the show. you need to seek out and find Jim Rohn audios, whether you buy them online, whether you search them from YouTube, but you need search them on YouTube and watch them at home. That'd be great, but I also highly recommend you find something you can put in your car. But anyway, Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, for those of you who aren't familiar. So the meat of the conversation I wanted to have today was, did anybody have any questions about sowing and reaping? I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the story's been around, well, it's originally from the Bible. It's been around a long, long time. So I don't think there's too many people they haven't heard the phrase, you reap what you sow, or you gotta lie in the, you made the bed, now you have to lay in it. Yeah, same kind of concept. So, but, so I think it's pretty straightforward. Sip of coffee and we move on. Excellent. All right. So the topic that I had wanted to make sort of the body of today's show was quite simple. It's a question that's asked quite frequently in the Global Online Franchise Facebook group. It's whether or not, and I'm just paraphrasing the question. I'm not going to use anybody's specific question, but the concept is simple. Should I be advertising my Income Snap link, or should I be advertising my GOF link / cash flow conversions link? Thank you, Paul Bertol, for the cash flow conversions, by the way. Just to throw that out there. Now, to break that down just a little bit further, it's not so much Income Snap versus cash flow conversions, right? It's BizOps seeker versus work from home seeker. And when I say work from home, I mean job. Okay? I think there's a common, I'm going to get to the difference in a second here, but I think that there's a common misconception when it comes to the phrase work from home. Okay? Work from home can be a pretty dicey topic to work on when you're advertising, because some people who want to work from home are biz seekers and like business seekers. They want an actual business, and some people want to work from home, want to have a job. So, I work from home, but I don't have a job, right? And I don't want one. So so there's a very fine line there. And the reason why I wanted to tackle this today was because I've seen it in the Facebook group a number of times, and also there's a very, very direct connection to mindset here that is very important. And it's very important that when you're advertising, that you understand who you're advertising to, or whom you're advertising to, right? A lot of times when people who've never advertised before, maybe they've been online doing stuff, whatever. Now they're really gonna want to learn how to do advertising. One of the things they forget is they write an ad that they like. That may or may not be accomplishing your goal, because you have to understand whoever it is you're advertising to. If you don't understand who you're advertising to, pardon me, the ad you put out there might actually attract the wrong kind of people, and then your results aren't going to be as good. Right? So it's very important that you understand I heard the phrase the other day when I was having conversations. Whenever I come up with a topic, I try to talk to a few people about it just to get their perspectives. And they usually don't know I'm doing research for my show. And one of the things that had come up from those conversations was the phrase was said, I don't know what people are putting in their ads that they might be getting the wrong kind of, they might be attracting the wrong kind of people. And then they said, it's not, some people, when they aren't familiar with sales or new to advertising, they will basically say anything to get them to come to their opt-in page. You don't want to do that. Because if you say anything, meaning you might be slightly misdirecting, whether intentional or not, there's a portion of the people that are going to show up on your opt-in page that are the wrong people. So you're looking for a certain type of person, but you're going to get a whole bunch of people that are not that person. And so now they've hit your opt-in page, They've not opted in, so that drops your percentage, so it makes your conversion to opt-in look lower, even though it's not about the opt-in page, it's not about the capture page, it's about the fact that person, for instance, this is not a joke. I think it was probably close to a year ago, we were working with an individual with PPC advertising and keywording, teaching him how to do keywording and all that other stuff. And he called in such a huge he was just like scattered. He was like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on, I need your help, I need your help. And we're like, whoa, slow down, bud, what's going on? And he'd spent like $600 in a week on advertising. And we're like, oh, well, cool. Because I mean, the bigger your budget in advertising, the better your success is going to be. Or the faster, I wouldn't say better, the faster your success will be. But that is, of course, if that $600 is returning at least $600 or more, right? I mean, that's the whole point. You got to at least break even on that 600. You spend 600, you get 600. Spend 600, you get 600. That's a great advertising campaign. I'll do that all day long, every week, week in, week out, week in, week out, week in, week out, because it's not costing me anything. Because I can literally pull back the 600 and I'm still at break even, right? So anyway. And generally speaking, I wouldn't just start with 600. I would start with like 100 and then build my way up to 600, because I spend 100, get 200. Now I spend 200, get 300. Spend 300, get 500. Right? I originally only ever spent $100 right at the beginning, right? Okay. Anyway, different topic, different day. So this guy's calling. He spent $600, and we're kind of excited about it. And then like what we thought we were going to need to do is just calm him down and explain to him that you've made this much money, so it's okay to spend the 600. Da, da, da. No, he had made $0 and no opt-ins. And we're like, whoa, what the heck is going on? Like, it's not even possible, really. If you even remotely, if you do even a little bit right, that's not even possible. So we started asking him some questions, and it turns out he was advertising a business opportunity, but he had found a really good keyword. One of the golden nuggets, as we call them. This keyword was searched for a ton of times, and the competition was super low, and he was all excited about the keyword when he was talking about it. So then we asked him, like, we generally don't like to ask people what their keywords are, because that's a private thing. It's I go out and work to find my keywords, and when I find a really super good one, I don't really want to share it with everybody. I'd share some of my keywords, but when I find one of those perfect ones, one of those rock star keywords, I want to keep them close to my chest, and that's it, because I went and found it anyway. So we as a general rule, if we're working with somebody with keywords, we don't like flat out say, hey, what's the keyword? Because we respect the fact that this person's found the keyword. So, but in this case, we had to get some more information. So we asked him. Well, he had found a really good keyword that had reference to dog food. I'll leave you pause for a minute there. Yeah, I said dog food. So he puts out all these ads that's keyworded perfectly, I might add, to the dog food keyword, long tail keyword that he had found. So great, because he's getting ranked high on Google ads, and he's showing up right at the top of the list, or Bing, I can't remember which one it was, but he's right at the top. People are hitting it like crazy, impressions and clicks and impressions and clicks and impressions and clicks. But let's think about that for a minute. What's the mindset of the person coming to his opt-in page? Someone looking for dog food or dog treats or whatever it was. So and this is an extreme case, of course. It's very extreme, but it just goes to explain the subtleties, right? So the person they see his ad, which is all dog food, dog food, dog food. They click on the link, and what opens up? Hey, I got a great business opportunity for you. It's an online business. Da 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 da. Nothing to do with dog food. What do? Close. Well, he just paid for that because they clicked it. That's what pay-per-click is for. You pay for every click. So he's getting a ton of people coming because he keyworded it perfectly. But he wasn't selling dog food. It's important to understand the mindset of the person you're trying to capture. Right? You have to. It's not about you, it's about them. What is it that you're offering? And this is where I'm going to get into the difference between the biz op and the work from home. Who do you want to see that capture page? A biz op seeker and a work from home job seeker are not the same person. Almost never are they the same person. And a biz op seeker is never going to be the work from home seeker, and a very small percentage of a work from home job person is going to, at some point, probably not when they first see the capture page, but at some point might become a business seeker because they do the jobs and they see a potential and they have enough business mind that they're willing to take a risk and go after the business side. The work from home job people, no risk. Give me a job, I want to trade time for money, I'll write a survey, I'll do things. So let's break it down a little bit. Your work from home job seeker, that is exactly what they're looking for, a job. That's exactly what they want to do. They don't like risk. They think that most businesses are scams. They don't believe that any of it is real. So when you're advertising to this person, you say the word biz op, they're gone. You say that there's the other thing that your work from home job people don't believe or have a mindset for is that you should never have to pay any money for a job, which, I mean, in theory makes sense. You know, you don't go try and get a job at Walmart and they charge you to work there. You know, so these are people that want to work from home, but they want a Walmart job, right? They don't want to refer people. They want to recruit people. They don't want to. They think that if they have to pay for it, it's clearly a scam. I'm going to give you my money. I'm going to get nothing for it. They don't understand that the training and the education is valuable, and learning of a new skill. Again, Jim Rohn talks about, you know, you can go get a job at McDonald's, they'll pay you $5 an hour. I mean, in his video, given to his credit when he did the video, you know, it was only $5 an hour. But you make $5 an hour. He says if you can learn how, and you know, for $5 an hour, then you take out the garbage. Your skill is taking out garbage, and you know, if you learn how to whistle while you take out the garbage, you can probably make another $1 an hour, right? So you add more value to the workplace, bring more value to the marketplace, and you can make more money. That's job mentality, right? It's a job mindset, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, and please don't misunderstand and think that I'm trashing on the job mentality. That's just who they are. I mean, and that's fine by me. That's not who I am, and that's fine for me, right? But I also, when I write my ads, I also target specifically the income snap funnel. I think my camera's turning. It's distracting. Anyway, I target my income snap funnel to the job seeker, people who are looking for jobs. And I word my ads accordingly. You know, the word job is in there somewhere. You know, real pay. You know, no fees. You know, things like that. Things that attract people who are looking for a job. And I don't send them to GOF, because you send those people to GOF, they're running to the hills because they think you're just trying to steal their money. And no matter how many times you show them the GOF capture page or like any kind of thing, they're just not listening. They're just not listening. The biz op seeker is the opposite person. The biz op seeker is someone who is looking for leverage. They want to find a way that they can bring people to a place where money can be made, and they're going to get paid for the referral. You may experience this a little bit more in your own personal life. It's a little bit of a different concept online. I mean, there's a bunch of different kind of biz op seekers. There's the affiliate marketers. Those are the guys that focus their entire online career on selling other people's products, and they get a percentage for doing that. It's a commission-based sales, is essentially what it is, but it's a business because it's them creating the advertising, selling the product, they get their commission. So I've met a number of affiliate marketers that make, you know, well over 6 figures a year and are quite happy doing what they do. And they do a very good job of it. I've been members of their lists for a long time, just because I mean, I'm members of lots of people's lists, so I can see what kind of things people are doing. and many of them have such there's such really really good stuff. I mean, some of it I even have to model after. That's just the way it is. So hey, there's no monopoly on good ideas, right? So the BizOps seeker is someone who is looking for that referral based, and also is intrigued by residual based income, right? Because they're trying to create a residual income for themselves for the work that they do. So it's a very different mindset. And I think that was really, I mean, that is what the focus that I wanted to really hammer home on those two, because I get the question, I've seen the question, I've answered the question, I've spoke to somebody on the phone, or not one person, spoke to 2 people on the phone about this. Which one should I advertise? Well, the answer is both, but for 2 different reasons. The same ad will not work for both. That's all. It's pretty much all there is to it. There's a reason why in the back of the Global Online Franchise, if you're looking at the marketing in the marketing gateway, you'll see that there are ads for the cash flow conversions and ads for the income snap. It's because they're 2 different people. If you read those ads, take a close look at them, you'll see the difference. One's talking about turnkey franchise. No work-from-home job person would ever even so much as think about clicking on the word franchise, because a franchise is a business. Everybody knows, even the most lay person would know that a franchise is like McDonald's or Subway or those kinds of things. They know that. To them, it's the concept of owning a McDonald's to a job seeker is miles above their mental capacity. Not an intelligence capacity, just mindset capacity. They just have no ceiling for it. I recall, just from my own personal experience, my father was a great individual. A couple of years ago, he passed away, but he always had this strong mental block. Which always I found, the irony I found was amazing, because he was a business owner himself. He owned his own roofing company for many years. I mean, I don't know how someone who owns their own company can get to a point where they just can't see the value in ownership, right? But he wasn't an educated man, right? So working with his hands was just the best way he could, and he always was. He always worked well with his hands, right? So he didn't have that belief system in his mind that he could do anything he wanted to do. There was a time, probably about 10 years before he passed, where he came to me with he was thinking of buying a pizza place in the area that they live, and I said, yeah, go for it. And he didn't end up buying it, but the fear took over, right? He just didn't believe he could do it. And I mean, I told him I'd help him, I'd be part of it, I'd be whatever, but he just if he didn't believe it, right? It's a belief system, right? But the job mentality and the biz op mentality, they're 2 different people. One is not better than the other, so to speak. And with the Global Online Franchise and the way things are set up there, in this specific amazing setup that Alec and his team has put together, that statement is no truer, has never been truer. That one isn't better than the other, because there's a lot of income to be made from advertising either one. So, I mean, so what I had when I was talking to somebody else, what I have done is I tend to spend my time focused on one or the other. I don't, in the same day, I don't advertise for income snap and cash flow conversions. That's just me. My action plan is surrounded by breaking things into specific, like I'll work on cash flow conversions on either for an entire week at a time, or and then do income snap for the next week, or I'm going to do it day by day. Monday will be this, Tuesday will be that, Wednesday will be this, whatever. And and then I throw in my other stuff that I'm doing as well. But as a general rule, I try to maintain my mindset, my focus on one of the 2 fields. Because if I'm hopping back and forth, you know, I might start blending the two, and it's going to make my ads a little more confusing. It's going to make my, and know, know this, neither one of them is right or wrong. If you spend your time focused on Income Snap, great. Just make sure that it's Income Snap. Now, the upside to doing the cash flow conversions is that there's an opportunity for you to capture both sides of the fence, because the biz op seeker is going to naturally, if they open a franchise, there's income to be had for you at that point. If they choose to move forward and become a premier affiliate for Income Snap, they do the, oh, question just came in, I'll read it in a second. They can upgrade there, and there's another income opportunity for you, and then, you know, they can go on and build one or the other, right? And it's just there's money to be had on both sides of the fence. It's just whether or not you want to keep your focus. I just got to move my camera a little bit because it's actually blocking my question list here. So bear with me here. Move this over here. I'll be able to see the time too. Okay, is that better? Am I still in the center, more or less? I don't want anybody I don't want anybody with OCD tendencies like myself to be word concerned I'm not right in the middle. Maybe it's just me. What do you believe? Which is better in safe list? Which one do I think is better to promote in a safe list? That's a good question. That's a very good question. I've done a lot of safe list marketing. Having created an entire, probably a year ago, I don't know, it's probably somewhere in there, I set out to prove that safe lists work. So I even, you know, bought a domain that's pretty much exactly that. And they do, without a doubt, without question. But that's a tough question, because the reason why I think it's tough is because safe lists have two different kinds of people in them. The safe lists have, I'd say they're mostly biz ops speakers in safe lists, mostly. But there are probably some income. I know Natalie's had great success using her safe lists to advertise Income Snap. So that would say to me that there's definitely, I'm going with both. My answer is both. Because there's got to be people in there, like safe lists will attract people that have a very small budget or no budget, and because they're free. Now, safe lists also have a paid level, right? See, safe lists can be an op seeker's, a biz op seeker's whole life as well, because you can make a lot of money working in safe lists. It's true. You can make a fair bit of money in safe lists, but it does require a lot of work and a lot of you know, a lot of upgrades. So you're upgraded across the board on like 50 different things. So it can get expensive. So if you're doing it well, then it'll work. I mean, then that's where the money will come from. But most people go into safe lists because it's free and they can build a list and they work. So I think you do. You know what? Here's the answer, David. I say both again, and the reason why I say both is because you can you can alternate, right? Because I don't know if you're familiar with safe lists or if you've used them before or not, but in safe lists, I mean, really, if you send out 5,000 emails, because that's what some of them will let you do in, you know, one shot, you're sending out 5,000 emails. Even though you're sending out 5,000 emails, I don't know, 3% of them open them or less. Let's say 5% open them. Of the 5%, if you're lucky, 1% will actually read what's in there, because a lot of times they're clicking for credits, right? So they'll click to open your email, and unless the capture page you're using, unless it captures them instantly, unless it captures them instantly, then they're just going to close it because they're just getting their clicks. You got about 20 seconds to capture them because that's how long they have to keep it open. right? Unless they unless they're doing safe lists the way I taught them, and then you don't actually sit and watch them. But the but you can do both. Natalie added a piece, an answer. I'm just reading her answer. Give me a sec here. Oh, I see. Natalie has added the answer. Oh my goodness! Added the answer that if you wanted to break it up, that you could advertise Income Snap with the safe list, like the broadcast that they do, and use your GOF cash flow conversions funnels for the safe list solos, which I personally have never used. I've only ever done the actual emails, but that's I used it for list building, and I built a system around it. So the the fact remains is that you could do both. I mean, it really doesn't matter. It's I think they both would work, only because of the experience I've had using them, that there are both people in there, because I recognize some of the names in the safe list and people who are using them, and some of them are biz op seekers, and some of them and definitely some of the names I've come across are business opportunity people. So I'm not I know that I believe they both would work. But again, your letter that you're using for the safe list email, don't just change the link, because then that's going to be a big mess. You need to have in your email your it's got to be very much tailored to your work from home job people, and then the next one's going to be tailored to your business opportunity people, right? And if you don't do that, then it won't much matter what you're advertising. You have to hit the people that you have to ensure that your ad or your email is targeted. I think the key, the word that we should be talking about here is targeted. You know, you need to use targeted ads, because what are you doing when you're targeting? You're trying to hit something specifically. And the only reason why that we would say that, and why I want to use the word target now, is because the mindset of a biz op seeker and the mindset of a work from home seeker are so drastically different. They're night and day different. They're not even in the same wheelhouse. So they're not on the same target, right? You know, a target with the bullseye in the center. They're not on the same one. They're two separate targets, right? And so while you're trying to hone in your perfected ad so that you're hitting that perfect spot on the target, as you get, you know, write your ad better and better and better, it gets closer and closer to bang on center. You're getting further and further away from the other one, which is okay, because as long as your ads are targeted to the people that you want to capture, and they get to the right capture page, bang. Why does David want to call me Steve? David, I have a question about that. I'm going to ask you a question, David. Why do you want to call me Steve? I believe you replied to the video that I posted in the Global Online Franchise, and you in the reply, or in the comment underneath the video, you called me Steve there too. Is there an inside joke there? Did I miss something? Or can you not see my name written across the bottom here? I quite frankly don't care what you call me, but just thought I'd ask. All right, I think maybe, just maybe, I'm just looking at my notes here, I covered everything I wanted to cover. The key takeaway here is that the difference in mindset is quite simple. Or not the sim. Take that back. The difference in the two people is the two people you're advertising to is quite simple. But creating ads and structuring your campaigns around the mindset is where you want to go. You don't look stupid, Dave. Come on now. I just finished talking about mindset. What are you doing? I just finished talking about mindset. Go watering those seeds. You're not stupid. We all make mistakes. That's how it works. But I'm okay. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not offended. I just thought it was funny. Oh, I have one more question. Now, let me finish the key takeaways, just in case somebody was actually listening to that. The key takeaways are quite simple. When you're trying to make your advertising, it's not right or wrong to advertise one or the other. The key is to understand the mindset of the person you're advertising to. And that statement right there, if you wanted to write it down, you can use that statement no matter what you do, 5 years from now, 10 minutes from now, any business you're ever working, when you're going to write an ad for anything, make it about the person you're writing it for. I just had a thought of Simon Sinek is another one of my favorite authors and orators, and he does he did a little experiment himself one time, and I just want to see what time it is. I gotta end this. Sorry, it's getting a little long. I won't tell you that story, but it's actually quite good. But the point is that when you're advertising, it's got to be about the people that are reading the ad, and if you hammer that, success is coming. Okay, so I got one more question. Let me just quickly read. Jackie asks, do you think it's best to get a domain, or can I use the regular link to advertise? And by regular link, I assume you're referring to the affiliate link. Now, it's a great question. If you can afford it, like if your budget allows for it, I mean, domains are relatively cheap, so it's not that, but I mean, once you have 10, 15 of them, it might seem like it starts to get a little more pricey. I mean, we're talking $10, $12 a year. But I mean, if you have 10 or 15 of them, then we're talking $100, $150 a year, right? So anyway, I think that getting a domain for each one I like the idea, but the key is trying to find a domain that actually is in the same wheelhouse as what you're trying to advertise. Again, mindset is key. When someone reads that domain, what is it going to trigger in their mind before they click it? If it's something that, if it has something to do with, I can't even think of one off the top of my head. Well, actually, you know what? I own a domain called $100 Guaranteed. I don't use it because it was for a project that I was working on once upon a time that never did come to pass, but I bought the domain just in case. And it was the domain's $100 guaranteed. So I've never been able to find anywhere to use that because I don't want to use that one that says $100 guaranteed, and then when they get on the other side, there's really no guarantee. So I can't guarantee anything, and that's I think really why the project fell apart, because you can't really guarantee. I can't guarantee anybody's doing work, so how can I guarantee they'll make any money? Anyway, so make sure the domains are bang on. However, if a budget is the issue and you don't want to spend all that kind of money on domains, totally understandable. I would recommend using a shortener of some kind. A couple of options are, like, Google has a shortener. There's a Bitly. There's the one that I use is Tracken. So there's a number of different ways. What you do is you put your affiliate link in there, and then it spits out a shortened version, and that shortened version is what you use, and that shortened version will take them to your affiliate page, but it doesn't have that big long affiliate link there, because sometimes people, when they see an affiliate link, that can turn people off, but it's not. Don't take that and don't water the crap out of that seed. Just understand that it's not that people won't click your link. It's just there's pros and cons for everything, right? And I think maybe that is another key takeaway, that of all these questions that we get, and we get a lot of really, really good questions, there's always a pro and a con to every answer. The key to the equation is that, and someone very important to me had said this to me once upon a time when I asked for their opinion. They had said, I'm going to give you my opinion, but I don't want you to make your decision based on what I've said. It says what you need to do is do your own research, and by asking me the question, that's part of the research. So that's why it's awesome that you asked the question. Part of the research is getting the opinion of people who are doing what you want to do, or having success in the area you want to have success. and then formulating your own opinion and doing what you feel is right for you, because it will always be right for you, right? So the point being is that, I mean, there's plenty of times where even when I'm working with my mentor, that there's things that, you know, he suggests that I'm like, I'm not doing that because I don't want to do that. I don't think that that's going to work for me. So then I try and find a variation of the same kind of idea that'll work better for me, right? And then, of course, there are times when you come across things where you just have to suck it up and learn a new skill, right? Anyway, guys, I think I've rambled on long enough here. If there's anybody want to fire off another question real quick, I'll answer it. If not, I'm going to wrap it up. I mean, I don't mind doing 15-20 minutes of questions. I talk for about a half an hour, I guess, and we're about 10 to the hour. So if anybody has any more questions, feel free to fire one out there. I will take a sip of coffee just in case somebody's typing. Another sip just in case. Or because I like coffee. It's all Natalie's fault. Natalie got me hooked on coffee. She's a bad influence. She's going to be mad at me for that, man. Hey, guys. It's been a great morning. I'm so happy to have been with you guys again. I'll be back again next week. I'll actually try and update the link a little sooner. I thought I had done it on Monday, but when I went and checked on it yesterday, it was not there. So I must have forgot to save it or publish the changes or something. I don't know what I did. But, hey, mistakes, we make them. Again, key takeaways: understand the audience that you're advertising to. That will make it great. Oh, question flew in right at the last second here. Okay, I'm using. Let me just try and hold on. Everybody quit typing. I'm trying to read this question and it keeps moving. I don't think I understand your question. I'm going to read it out loud. Perhaps you can clarify a little bit. I'm using follow-up emails with my Income Snap ads. Now, I'm not entirely sure. So, if you have a GetResponse account and you're part of the Global Online Franchise, you don't need to use follow-up emails because they're already provided. Not that you can't add them. By all means, please do, because personal touch is important. But if you don't, that's okay too, because the follow-up emails are there designed to help upgrade them for you, right? That's the whole point behind this. But this amazing thing that Alec and his team have put together. Now, I would like to follow up with other emails, but if they are not the same people, how can I follow up? I don't understand. I think maybe you're referring to they're not the same people with what I just said here. But if you advertise for an Income Snap person and they went into your Income Snap list, then they are all work from home job seekers. So when you do your follow-ups with those people, then you should make sure your letters are tailored towards jobs and other job opportunities. Let's say they don't like my flex job. They don't want to do it. So you now own this list. You can now send more follow-up letters to them, offering them other jobs from home, because there's a million of them out there. I mean, Global Online Franchise just partnered with my flex job, and you know, because as I mentioned in my video before, I mean, Alec and his team did the research they needed to do so that we could put it in there. And when I say we, I mean it's because I was asked to be a part of, you know, the Global Online Franchise development team. You know, hence doing this show and stuff like that. But I appreciated Alec's inclusion of me in the team, because I think that this is an amazing thing that he's put together. Anyway. So I think, I don't know if I answered that question or not, because I'm not sure I fully understand the question. Because I mean, once you put them, you have two different funnels, right? Like a cash flow conversion person doesn't go in the same list as an Income Snap person. They're not in the same list. So, because if you followed the instructions in the Global Online Franchise steps, you set up a separate campaign in GetResponse for the cash flow conversions people, or the GOF people, and you set up a separate campaign for the income snap people, correct? I know it's correct. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. And so when you have those two separate campaigns, when you advertise the cash flow conversion campaign, all the people that come through that campaign will go into that list. And when you advertise income snap, all the people that come through that campaign will go into that list, two separate lists. About following up with that. Oh, okay, that's the okay. So he's clarified that he's what he was asking was about following up with other. By all means, it's your list. You do whatever you want with it. The only caution I will give you and anybody else who's still hanging around to see if I have anything interesting and important to say is that if you are following up with your list outside of the follow-up letters that the Global Online Franchise is providing, kudos to you, because that's taking initiative, and I say, hey, great. But keep in mind, I think we'll call it 80-20 rule. 80% of those follow-ups that you send need to be value add, no sales, no upsell, no nothing. So in this case, it's Matthew. It says it's Matthew that is asking the question. Matthew, you're sending out an email that says, "Hey, I'm Matthew. So excited that you're here. There's so many great things. If you haven't been there, you can just log into your account and check it out." The other day I was working online and I found this incredibly. The other day I was turned on to using Google Calendar to help organize my day, and tell them all about Google Calendar, and tell them how it's free and how they can get started, and da-da-da-da. So now you've just become a person of value. You've added value to their work, right? And then you do a lot of that. And then at the tail end of that one, maybe at the end of a week or something, you throw in a broadcast, or you throw in a letter that talks about selling something else, because they may not have agreed to become my FlexJob affiliate, or they decided that that Global Online Franchise wasn't for them. Crazy. But they decided it wasn't for them. So you try and sell them something else. Talk to them about the Academy of Online Success. Move them in that direction. Talk to them about the Instant Traffic Bootcamp. If you're a member of the Academy of Online Success, even just a basic member, you have the ability to sell all of their products and earn a 33% commission. You can get 100% commission if you actually own the actual products, but you don't need to. But point being is that you can, when you're following up, you can just add sales of other products. But don't just sell. Don't just send email after email after email. Hey, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, because then they'll stop opening your emails. They'll see your name and they'll just hit delete, because they'll just assume every single time they open it, you're going to try and take money out of their pocket. But if you offer up, 3-4 emails that have nothing to do with taking money out of their pocket, just offering to be a valuable asset to them, then they'll keep opening your emails, and then every third or fourth or fifth one pops out and says, "Hey, by the way, have you tried using this tool? This is one of my favorite tools. I use it to find keywords. I use it to organize my passwords. I use it for backing up my software. I use it for blah, blah, blah," whatever. And they look at it and they think, "Wow, this guy's he's giving me so much advice and he's helped me so much. I'm going to go check this one out." So they go check it out and they say, "You know what, I don't have a very good backup system. I'm going to use this one." Boom, they buy it, you get paid. Like, that's, advanced list mastery type stuff. But bottom line is, I just wanted to caution you, because if you're someone who wants to add letters, don't just sell. If you just sell, it's not going to work. They're going to unsubscribe or stop opening your emails, and then it doesn't matter anyway. So then you'll never get use out of that person. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. We're close to an hour, and I don't want to take up any more of your time, and I've got some marketing to do. So, hey, love being with you guys. It's been great. Thanks again to Alec and his team for allowing me to have this space and time in the week to try and get people on the right track with their mindset, because it's, in my opinion, the most critical component to your success, and without the proper mindset, you're dead in the water anyway. All right, guys, have yourself a great day, and we will talk to you next week, or in the Facebook group, or, hey, send me a message. Talk to you soon. Bye.